I think we are live. Yes. Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming to the first and of many episodes of Shot Tank. I have Top Shot Talk with me and JonBoyBeats. Thanks, guys, for joining. I'm very excited for this first episode and to see where this really goes. As you guys can tell, there's not a lot of background decoration. We didn't have an intro song or video, so we're starting low. We're setting the bar low, and we're just going to keep improving. We're going to take all the massive amounts of profits from this stream, funnel it back into the show. Like we're only going up from here. So thanks everyone for joining me, and thanks guys for coming on as well. I'm excited.
Our plan will be to have, sweet intro music and a whole bunch of cool shit. But, right now we're just live action.
Yeah. And we're always open to suggestions as well. If you got something you think that we could pull off or something like that, let us know, because we're all for that. But while I'm speaking right now, can we please hit that like button and subscribe to ActuallyJebBush if you haven't already? But we are excited to get things kicked off here tonight and talk about Top Shot, what we love to talk about.
Yeah. I think right off the bat, the first thing we got to start with is the challenges, or I guess the pack drop, right? The pack drop just happened. Have you guys been watching the floor? Have you taken a look at it recently? Things are looking pretty plus EV, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, things are moving back to where we kind of were thinking they were going to be. It was a little bit of a rocky start, though. I think there was like some issues with kind of fake cooldowns and stuff like that got things going, stumbling the gates. But looks like we're looking pretty good right now.
The classic cooldown, and some people start panicking, and that gets people every time, even though we've experienced it quite a bit. I guess we kind of we didn't have it as much with the blended packs. The marketplace wasn't as crazy, I guess, afterwards, but definitely with these guaranteed rarities, it's back the marketplace cooldowns. It reminded me a lot of when they had that first WNBA drop and people were just dumping at like 10 a piece, and then suddenly just like all the undercutters were done and it just jumped. Like all of them jumped up to like what like the normal prices ended up being. And this kind of had that similar feeling where like so many things are getting undercut like crazy to like 10, probably because of like the false cooldowns, like you're saying. And I think just people being a little nervous to buy when the fresh threads were like so dirt cheap when the challenge actually happened. But yeah, it's the floor right now is like $18-19. So basically we're back to traditional Top Shot. Where the insert
seekers,
is
come on in, baby.
And the biggest
bring them back.
That was the good old days. The biggest like version of this was probably playoff drop number 1, where there was there was like a 24-hour buying period. It wasn't like a little bit.
Yeah.
It was even after cooldowns, and then things got nuts after that.
I remember that very well, and that was like that was like still early before like there was really kind of like people were used to the patterns of how things worked and whatever, and like people weren't very sure of how these challenges were going to work and stuff, and I remember like the drop happened, and like there was moments for like $7-8, like $10. And I'm like, I started like buying a bunch, and then I'm like going in the Discord. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are these prices here? And then I'm texting TST on the side. I'm like, dude, am I crazy? Like, why are these prices so low? This doesn't seem like it's gonna make any sense. And then all of a sudden, it just went to 30, and it just like was like crazy. And we kind of saw that a little bit tonight.
It was just much faster.
It's always hard to it's always hard to tell like what's. I mean, when you're like looking at a moment and you can see like where the actual floor is versus where just a couple of listings are. I think one of the things that's still I would think there's a little bit of a lid still on the pricing right now because there's a little bit of people are kind of scared about what the wild cards might be for the challenge, right?
Yeah.
And we saw that, pretty much the Fresh Threads 2 just got demolished by the wild card, and that really wrecked the value of anything in the Fresh Thread set from a challenge standpoint. And I think people are a little nervous about that again. But I'd be interested to hear what your guys' take is on what you think we can see with this. I mean, it's already a 6,500 mint count, so there's not like a whole lot out there that's going to be able to bottleneck this.
Yeah, and I think we could answer this question from Sargon too, is if he should sell or he should just kind of hold and see what's happening. I think part of me wants to give Top Shot credit here in the sense that they saw, hey, when we put this, we want. I think they're going to be S2 wild cards for these challenges. But with Fresh Threads, because the mint count was much higher than the S2s, those S2s got all the pump and the S3s actually lost value. And I think Top Shot realized, oh, it's probably not good if our new stuff is worthless and we're pumping all the value into this old moment. And so I think with the 6,500, even if we do have some S2 wild cards, the 6,500 is going to be the bottleneck, not any of the wild cards, because the wild cards are going to be 10. I mean, Scene Stars is 10K, Hustle and Show is 18K. There's 35Ks and 40Ks. Playoffs are 12K. So it's all a healthy amount more than these S3 moments.
Yeah, unless they
go drop one Cool Cats, baby.
Yeah,
only drop one or early,
only drop one Cool Cat.
Early adopters or Homecoming that got the love on the airdrop. I saw some people talking about that. I think that would be drastic and insane, and don't think we get that.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion it's going to be more like the rare challenges. I don't know if I just cut you off and you were going to say that, but for the All-Star game where it was like an option, not like a requirement.
But what do you mean by option and not a requirement?
You
could replace.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like a substitute, right? So you could use the LeBron or the Giannis reward from the year before, or whatever, in lieu of buying another moment. And with that makes sense kind of a little bit at these price points, right? Where it's, I don't know, in the some of the moments are 30. Luka and those guys are up near 70. So, or not Luka, actually, LaMelo and Steph are up near 70. Luka's at like 55 or so. But being able to replace something with I don't know, like a Hustle and Show challenge reward or something like that, I think would make sense. But I think with the 6,500 mint count, I don't think there's going to be a requirement of a wild card. And I think that, I think if that happens, there might be a little bit of a bump here from these moments, because I mean, based on my projections, these are like still a little bit underpriced. And I mean, I don't know. It's been hard for me to figure out like the challenge premium that gets baked into this stuff, because like if you think about the Ja Morant reward and the LeBron reward, I mean, there's an argument to be made that like end of the day, once the challenges are over, those two combined have a mint count of 3,000 or something. Those two moments combined have a value of between $500 and $600, and so that would assume that there should be $500 to $600 baked into these moments right now. And like a 500 average would be like an extra, I think it's an extra like $28 on each of these moments or something like that. So, and we're not really seeing that. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see what'll happen there.
Yeah. And also the fact that we have 18 moments, right? So they're going to split 9 and 9, I mean, they do have the ability to go over 10 for a challenge, for like a more traditional challenge now with their new builder and everything, but we haven't seen them go over 10 yet. I don't expect it really. We could go 9 and then have, one wild card in there or, a substitution. And if we see a substitution, it's a challenge reward that, has a decent mint count, then I guess we could see a little bit of a hit on those upper moments, right? Like those are going to be the ones people are substituting for the most part, would be your Steph, your LaMelo, and maybe your Luka a bit. But can you bring up this comment from Adam? because
looking at it too.
Like this that got me pretty pumped up. That intro video, like the first intro video they put out, was like pretty, like got me going. It got me going, and I also watched that video without knowing the mint count. So when that like slide came up in the intro video, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And
that kind of shocked me.
My question on this is that, like, does this like hurt Hustle and Show a bit?
Whoa! Let's not go that far. As a Hustle and Show maxi, I don't know if we can say that, but I will say it kind of does give me that Hustle and Show. Like, it's in that same vein, I think, for sure.
Well, I mean, it hurts the show part, no? Like, wouldn't these show, like, all the like okay, maybe less the ones that are the celebrations after, and that's the emphasis and when the moment was chosen, but all those like flashy plays, like, isn't that like in the same exact category of the show part of Hustle and Show?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
yeah.
I
mean, you could make an argument too that these like because they're gonna come out with the rare team moments too, and like those are gonna be more like the teamwork ones. Like the one that comes to mind is like that 8-1 from the playoffs, where it was like a million Suns passes to an 8 dunk, and then
or the Durant
one of those are, and so like, I mean, those like oftentimes have a little bit of a show side to them too, right? Or a hustle side. Like, I mean, if all 5 players are involved or something, it's probably kind of crazy. So I do think it's kind of interesting. Like but then at the same time, like also if you look through, maybe not so much Hustle and Show, but if you look through like this set and probably the teamwork set, like that is going to be a lot of the moments that like are somewhat memorable from the season and stuff. And like, you remember some of the celebrations and you remember like some of the fancy shit, and so you got to like have them on the site.
yeah, and also like you could just make an argument, like, I mean, all the like show off parts of moments and all the like really cool plays, like those are like what MGLEs and hollows are also like kind of like the best plays are the ones where they are showing off. But it's just like I find it very similar, and I go in my mind like I think I'm more pumped for this set than I would be Hustle and Show. And I know
do you think that's just because the mint count though? Even do you think that's what is pushing you? No.
I don't mean it I don't mean it that I'm like going to pursue it for that reason, or I would not pursue Hustle and Show for that reason. It's strictly like looking at the plays. I was like, like I was a little vocal when Hustle and Show 2 came out first, that I was like, it didn't really do it for me. And like, let's be honest, that community has made that set as popular as it is. It isn't actually necessarily the moments. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like the kind of like the basketball aspect, that it's like celebrating like kind of both ends. But I think it got better, and their selection of plays got better throughout Hustle and Show. And if you compare like this year's already to last year's, like it's very more like they're more picky with what goes in there, and they're more picky with what goes everywhere, just having a roadmap, etc.
Yeah, I feel that. Quick side note before we move on with the extra spicy or extra spice. There's a couple things I think were a little underwhelming, but for me, like the artwork, I feel like they could have gotten a lot crazier with it, right? Like it's kind of like, where's like the peppers, or where's their like, even there's no exclamation point at the end of extra spice. I don't know. Like, wouldn't that be the extra spice on the extra spice art? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very much, I was a little disappointed that it is very much kind of in that same vein as everything they do.
You had me till the exclamation mark.
I mean, that was more a joke. That was more a joke than anything. It was just like a suggestion. But just in general, like, I know there was that one thread that I can't remember his name. Shoot, that one guy on Twitter put out talking about like, and one of the things he mentioned.
One guy on Twitter.
I need to give him credit. I need to.
That does threads. Oh, there's only one of those.
But but where he was talking about how distinguishing between series is very important for a collectible, like year after year, and like either my argument for this would be either make this one crazy, like make it unique, or like if this is the artwork style, make this style only for this series and then move on to something completely different. And right now we're kind of in that limbo where both are happening, but neither are happening. So yeah, I don't know. Like not to say the set is garbage just because the artwork isn't exactly what I was hoping for, but I was kind of underwhelmed by that, especially considering just the verboseness and like weight that these plays hold in the celebration and stuff. I would have thought they would have gotten a little more fun with it.
Yeah, just to give credit where credit's due, that's JonBoyBeats4 on Twitter. His handle's ballers8012.
Thank you.
He's got some good threads out there, JonBoyBeats. So if you're listening, good stuff, man.
Yeah, I love his stuff.
John wouldn't have a thread not getting credit.
Yeah, that's right.
I will not stand for this.
I have them all. I have all good threads filed away in my Rolodex here. Hold that one up.
And Ghost of Grey Odin. This might have to turn into a separate NFT project. Honestly, just 10,000 randomly generated Jacob memes.
Jacob memes. That could probably do well.
I could make me and Cleganes could make those for days. So I feel like 10,000 is not out of our realm of possibility.
So what you're saying is you're gonna over mint it.
Yes. Oh yeah. We're selling out. We're selling out fast. I'm just sorry, guys.
Bring up this comment
to tie a bow on
Sanitize.
This is exactly what I was gonna say. This is a good comment from Sanitized about the bracket. So my point was going to be like, I really liked that they did that. And because one of the things that we talked about during the February, I keep calling it the February monsoon, but I don't know if that's a good name for it, but like just the weekly, like shitting out moments left or right. And like, everybody's just like taking them in and buying max packs and like, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But we lost like some of that, like focus on the actual moments. Right. And like some of the hype building up to the drops. And, I thought this week was a good example of like getting back to that a little bit. And, like Sanitize says, the bracket may like, I don't know if it like helped anything, right? But it definitely didn't hurt anything, right? And
yeah,
what it did do is bring some more eyes on these moments, get some more people thinking about them. People know what the rewards are. People know like what the players are in the set. That way, when they go to open the set, they are aware, like they're aware of what moments they're getting. I mean, it got to the point in February where some of those weeks you're like just opening up a pack and you're being like, oh shit, I didn't even know this guy was like in here. Like, cool.
I didn't even know this guy was in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get what I totally agree with that. I think that's something that I think TST was the first person that I heard say it, but it's something we kind of all echoed throughout that month of just like, when you mix in legendaries and rares and stuff, like it's really cool. But the other side of that is everything like is a little less special. Like no one was excited to pull a Rising Star when in reality, like that's a really cool set with a lot of like flash challenge utility. And you're getting moments of players with rookie badges, which is really cool. Like big picture, and no one cared. Everyone was like, I didn't pull a legendary. This pack sucks. Like move on to the next. And that was kind of a bummer. And the All-Star set was actually like, I thought it was way better than last year's, and it didn't get the shine it probably deserved either. So
yeah, so a couple of people in the chat here talking about how the bracket could decide what the rewards are. So Dino's saying this, he's saying this, and that's kind of interesting. I'd love to hear what other people think in the chat as well. But what I would worry about doing that in a way is like the attention span in this space. And they did a pretty good job at like running this bracket in a very condensed way. And I'll give them credit to that, because like they couldn't go a day or two much longer on that, and people would have just kind of lost interest. They do have their minting down quite well. But like, it'd be interesting to see if they ever do go with what these people are suggesting, and kind of, because they kind of, they talk about how like using the hashtag and everything is like us getting involved in like the decision of what moments are. And they definitely like, look at the type of thing. So this would be like another step further. And then Sanitize here saying Josh still won the bracket anyway. So, I mean, you'd hope that like what they choose is going to be similar to what we would, but you know, you never know. You could get a nice campaign going and you could have Campazzo win it. And
the Campaz God. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And just like, and I know things are still early and they're still getting stuff done, but even like just more ways to like make people excited about this set. Like what if like the winner was like printed on a hot sauce? Like they did a collaboration with Hot Ones. They put out a hot sauce. The winner was on the bottle. And if you collected the whole set, you got that shipped to you. Like that's obviously like we're not close to that, but like I hope
that's
that
just like easy low hanging fruit.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. Like it just integrates things more and makes it more tangible beyond like just a set you have on Top Shot, you know. And there's like you feel like
Hustle and Show, you get like sweaty towels,
sweaty headbands.
All the games.
Yeah,
sweaty headbands.
Exactly. But like but then there would be like there was no real gravity to Ja winning, right? Like nothing's going to happen because he won the bracket. Like there should be some sort of like some result that happens or that where they're like, oh my gosh, Ja Morant won. That means this happens. And TST was saying maybe it's the challenge reward, but it doesn't even have to be that. Like do something else with it. I think they're on the right track, but I think you gotta end it with something where they're like, because now we're like, okay, cool, Ja won. Like he got the most clicks, but
but that's where they can progress it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
DJ Local did bring up a good point here, though, that if the rewards are
Louisiana or Tabasco, I would probably say let's go with Tabasco.
But if we allow the rewards to be decided by these brackets, like they would have to like roadmap proof it in a way.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know, like someone becomes ineligible in the finals or that moment's not in the bracket, or they would just have to make sure that any of these moments could end up as winners and it wouldn't ruin anything. But again, these are things they can work through. I think they're definitely, going, I think any direction that we're going that's celebrating like the moments or the sets and getting people excited before the drops, a little bit during and like the days after, then that's a positive for the space.
I love this stat hunting and Adam Stubbs. Yeah, I kind of saw your comment, so I want to make sure you get your credit. That was a great comment. And I was like, yeah, what if there was like something beyond just like, oh, this player won the bracket, cool. Like that next step I think is huge, and once again can play into IRL utility, which I think is the key to Top Shot really having mainstream success in general.
Every player chooses their hot sauce before, and it's
yes,
and it's whoever wins, that's which one they have a deal with.
Dude, that would be fire. Or what if like loser has to eat the hot sauces chosen by all the winners or something like that, like
or that super spicy chip that Shaq was doing on.
Yeah, exactly. The possibilities are endless, and I do hope that as Top Shot continues to, the company themselves continue to grow and they continue to iron out like all of this stuff and build out social activations, that there's some sort of like consequence or like some sort of like something to get excited about. Like the bracket was really cool and you could win like packs, which is really awesome, or like Dapper credit. But it would be cool if they're like, oh, winner, like Ja Morant is now going to drink a bottle of hot sauce while he dunks, or like, obviously that's stupid, but like it would be really cool if like something happened involving that for sure.
Should we talk about the other pack drop from the week? The S1s, the reserve?
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
The biggest thing I thought was interesting with that, because that was Monday, right? Or Tuesday? Monday or Tuesday?
That was Tuesday? That sounds right. Yeah. Gosh, it seems like a week ago.
Yeah. But the turnout for that was like way lower than what like Live Token had put out for their estimate on how many people had trade tickets. But I think that is more of a outcome of how hard it is to track trade tickets once they're created, because I believe they're not like stored on the blockchain. And so basically what Live Token was doing was like just figuring out like how many people had like turned in, and then also like how many people had less than $2 or equal to $2 moments in their account or whatever. And that's kind of how they came up with it. But obviously with the increased use of tickets over the last like month or so, that number was basically cut in third, right? And like it showed that like 3,000 people should have been eligible, but only like about 1,000 showed up. And I think that's kind of interesting because now, and I haven't actually looked at the market today for trade tickets, but we were pretty heavy at like a $3 floor there, right? And it's been, twos are able to be had, but they're in ones are just not out there at all. But I wonder if with this drop coming out, like, are we getting back to where $2 are viable, or is it always going to be like $3 now? Because if it's always going to be $3 now, then that's going to make people.
There's a lot.
Oh,
there's a lot of twos.
Okay.
There's a lot of twos.
But like, could you sweep a floor on a 2? Or
yes. Oh, yeah? Like me single-handedly? I pulled up Kevin Huerta and scrolled, and there's just 2s. I didn't even get to 3.
So yeah, you could just like go to.
You could just tee off. Yeah.
Just two party. Okay, well that's good then. so that'll let people buy up their trade tickets again, because I was kind of thinking that might be an angle where like we might start getting to a point where like not that many people are showing up for these queues again. But if anything, I think the next one might be pretty low turnout. So it might be a good one to get into to have a little bit better shot.
Yeah. Everyone's saying unlimited 2s as well. So I guess
tons of 2s. Everybody's buying 2s.
2 knees for everybody. 2 knees for everybody.
How many people are just buying 2s as they listen to us right now? Just
sound off in the chat. It's actually interesting because I know we had talked about it a little bit, just kind of almost like jokingly. We were all of us were like, oh, what if like suddenly there's not enough like trade tickets and people are like now getting mad because like there's undersupply. But I mean, seeing this healthy $2 floor is a good sign, and it means that Top Shot didn't overcorrect the other way, which would be equally as bad for different reasons. So that's good to.
Dude, holy shit! The Bucks came back, dude. They're going to OT.
Giannis hit a step back 3 to tie it, and then Durant missed a shot.
What a classic Durant.
Giannis,
classic Durant.
I love Giannis. Dude, I got my Bucks hat on. I'm like Kings or whatever. It's playoff mode, baby. Bucks. We're moving forward with all Bucks fandom. Here we go.
Did you change which leaderboard you're on?
No, definitely not. I don't even have the full Bucks set anymore.
Yeah, no, dude. Bucks are. Jeez Louise. Giannis is 42 and 14 right now.
I know.
What a monster.
He also has 42 on only 20 shots.
Yeah. It's insane.
Dude, I'm so excited for the freaking playoffs, man. Like,
I'm very excited. On the top side,
there's so many good matchups. There's so many good matchups.
Yeah, and Top Shot is like, I feel like Top Shot's going to go buck wild, and that kind of leads into our next topic was, Pack Grip Ewing tweeted out a while ago saying, hey, kind of hinting at that things in April were going to be crazy. And then we just, let me share this screen. Where did I put it? Shoot. We just got this notification, or let me share my screen. Saying that for April, we haven't even.
Give us a zoom here, Jeb. Can we get a zoom?
Okay. Yeah. Let me.
There we go.
Here we go.
Baby.
Much better.
Cool.
But we're about to enter April tomorrow, and we've already been told. So we've been told in the spaces that there's going to be a major overhaul to like how you're able to organize, display your moments. that was very vague, but we know it's coming in April, Rohan made it seem like it was a pretty big deal. So I'm cautiously excited about that. And now we know they're going to be sending Top Shot community members to the NBA playoff games every round. There's going to be 3 access unlocked experiences for the playoffs, which was mentioned in the spaces. It's getting confirmed here. There's going to be pack drops with guaranteed moments and the return of the WNBA Series 1. This we kind of knew was coming. Introduction to a referral program is going to be starting in April, which could be very exciting, especially depending on how they decide to do the reward system. I know that in the spaces as well, Rohan mentioned, hey, there's going to be like a rewards store on Top Shot coming soon. Maybe this refer a friend program gets you some extra points to spend on that. I mean, we don't know how you're going to be able to redeem. We know, like they said, reward points, but it's kind of vague. We don't know how you're going to redeem to get the actual rewards. And then, this is what we said already. Kind of vague here, but soon it sounds like your collection page is going to get a major facelift soon. So a lot of exciting things on top of the fact that, it's just the actual playoffs, which is pretty exciting. How do you guys feel about all this?
How do you guys think they're going to do the tickets, the playoff games every round?
Leaderboards.
I know.
I
so
hope
the
they do
Kings
that.
wouldn't get any
Yeah, the Kings wouldn't.
No, they're saving the finals tickets for you, John, for the Kings fans.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2033.
Yeah. So
although I will say I was very happy to see my boy Boogie Cousins show up on my playoff preparation tool today as like a potential bottleneck if he hits. So that's what I got. Is me and my Kings holders. We got playoff Boogie to look forward to.
There we go.
Playoff Boogie. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Is there anything in interesting that really like stands out to you?
Well, let's talk about these playoff tickets, because I think that was a big part of the spaces that they're we all kind of assumed we get the access unlocked again in some sort of fashion, but I think it's more important that they reward more people rather than just 8 and their guests or whatever. But I think what I'd like to see is that they use leaderboards, but it's not like the sole thing that they use. So they distribute, they have so many winners and it could be more of a random draw. But what I think is great about the leaderboards is that you're assuming that they're going to have these batches of tickets at multiple locations. And these aren't coming with a flight in, right? So
I wouldn't think so.
They need to be kind of rewarding those people. So it might kind of be oh, it's a leaderboard thing, and then you have to kind of opt in. But I think it would just be great if they, even if say it's leaderboarded, they do some random draw or anything that even if they can't make the game, give them the tickets. Let them sell them. Let them give them away. No, because
okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because one of the big things is okay, I'm an international person. I can't use the tickets, right? I can't go. Well, let them give it away and
I don't think they're going to do it to international Top Shot community members, and I could be wrong, but that's one of the reasons why international is getting
League Pass.
Yeah, is because they're hey, we want to make sure everyone's included. So while you can't attend a playoff game, you'll be able to. We want to make sure you're able to watch it without any problem. So you can see all of us waving in the background.
No, I did think that was pretty badass though. Getting because I mean, I don't know. We have the luxury of just flipping on TNT and ESPN and watching the games in prime time. But I'm sure, it's a lot harder to find streams for NBA games, especially when they're on at random times of the day. And so just being able to give people access to that if they have a certain collector score or whatever, it's pretty badass. And I would be super stoked if I was a international fan.
Yeah, and it also just to kind of point out what Maccabee is saying here is, yeah, if you have League Pass already internationally, obviously that announcement maybe doesn't make you as excited, but it should make you excited, at least in the future. So you don't have to, start buying that. You can put that League Pass money straight into Roham's pocket, you know?
Yeah, put that on the Top Shot. Put that on the Top Shot credit card next season, baby.
But yeah, okay. I do like what you're saying though, TST, where it's like allowing everyone to participate, like even if, because yeah, it would also be a logistical nightmare if they're like, hey, we're giving 100 tickets away to the top 100 on the leaderboards, but you have to prove you live like within a certain mile radius.
And you have to attend. Like,
I mean, that's like, yeah, I agree with you though. Like that's like, the reason why. Okay.
The other side of it would be that they want, like, they don't want you just selling these on the like to random fans, and then like they have this like Top Shot section and there's no Top Shot collectors in it. Like obviously they don't want that to happen. So if it allows them to just be able to give it to another Top Shot collector, like, and they at least get to choose who gets it. But like I see both sides, but I don't know. Like,
Ticketmaster's gonna come and be like, all these fucking undercutters are like coming in hot on these playoff tickets. He's like, what the hell happened?
The scalpers will be so pissed.
The professional undercutters. Oh, we've been practicing for a year. What if this was Roham's just big brain play to ruin scalpers because they destroy, like, he was a game he wanted to go to and he couldn't. He's like, you know what? We're putting tickets in the hands of the best undercutters in the game. Like, we will destroy your profit margins. But yeah, no, that is a good point, TST, because like one of the cool things about Summer League or seeing pictures of like when Veerman took people to a game, or when the Top Shot Kingdom guys went into a Kings game, was like they're all like in Summer League, we all were given the shirts. So there's just a group of us wearing the shirts. I know the Top Shot Kingdom guys made their shirts too. Like that's cool. And IRL community is really part of like the ultimate goal of Top Shot. So it probably would.
Moments are pumping.
Oh, no, that's an important update. Thank you, Joey.
I'll review.
Okay, you review. But yeah, like I was just kind of, it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, because yeah, if they're like, hey, here, like you're in the top 100, you can sell this. And then just like 90% of the people in the Top Shot section like don't know what Top Shot is. It wouldn't be a good look either. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes, but it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I think like going back to that that screenshot of like all the stuff that's coming. I mean, I'm very interested to see what happens. I mean, obviously, you guys did a whole video on the jaw crafting. I've done a whole thread. We've all been talking about it for the last week and a half, and everybody's pretty amped up about it. But I'm more interested to see like the kind of fallout from the jaw at this point. Like, there's already been a ton of speculation. Everything's kind of already gotten kind of bought up, and people are trying to figure out what's going on with it. But whatever happens with the jaw is, I think, well, okay, let me put it this way. If I would hope that if their plan is to like continue with the crafting challenges, which it sounded like it was from the roadmap, or from whatever calling that article, and the Roham spaces, that when they like kind of come out with, hey, here's what we're doing for the jaw, they at least maybe hint at like, hey, we're also going to be doing this more or whatever. And like, but if they do that, then it could get pretty interesting. And I think that like really could help rejuvenate some things within the like typical pack drop challenge, dump after the challenge, moments go to the floor type of thing. And I think that could be a little catalyst that really Katie is down. What is going on there? That's not good. Ooh. That's like a couple people commented like that's a big deal.
Uh-oh.
Huh. That's bad. Give us some more action. Give us a play-by-play injury breakdown, somebody, please.
And then Juan, just real quick, I did want to address this. This is not a rug. We did not use Mike's face as to draw all the viewers. He was supposed to be here.
All the Team Hold subscribers are like, "What the hell?
What the hell? We don't want these guys." But Mike should be joining soon. He was supposed to be on a little bit ago, but he had some IRL stuff come into play, which big mistake. I don't know why you would ever schedule IRL over your internet friends. I've let my girlfriend know priorities, like internet friends, girlfriend, you know. But yeah, Mike should be here soon. But yeah, I think going back to the crafting thing, I think one thing that's actually super, super interesting about it is if they are careful or they like really have this planned out and like really have taken their time to plan it out, they could not only like do all the things that you're saying, but they could also even like fix mistakes that were made in series 2.
Yeah.
So for example, getting rid of a ton of S2 throwdown supply and making that circulation a little more consistent with what their like new goal is or what they decided it should be. Like that's a really, really exciting thing too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I think it could be some good stuff.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I'm a little the point you made about if they really thought this through is what makes me a little bit nervous because I'm just not sure they have, but we'll see. Hopefully we're surprised.
Neither am I, and I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm just in my head. That's where my head goes immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so many possibilities here.
That goes to my point that I was about to bring up, and is like at this point, I'm just here for the I want to see what happens in the chaos and the react. Like
that too. Yeah,
I've done the speculating. I've looked at it and everything. It's just like I want to see like how this thing plays out in so many different ways, like what they chose and how we can like kind of see what they were trying to accomplish, whether they accomplished that or not. Then seeing like, do the people that craft it make out, or do they get like burned? And then like, do the people that hold the moments? Do the people that hold the moments that they could have crafted be the ones that actually win out in the end? So it's just going to be like so much to watch, like leading up to after it happens and with all the changing mint counts.
I think we're missing like the game of the year here. So chat, you guys got to keep us informed here. I have 2 questions that are very pertinent to my DraftKings lineup. Why hasn't Middleton played in overtime? And then why has Kyrie not done anything in overtime? And then also, Drew Holiday has 6 steals, so that's got to be like a moment rank.
Oh my god,
killer right now!
Holy cow! Does he have a steal?
Just some side notes. I don't know. Probably. I was just actually going to look at my sheets for that.
I don't think he does. He has mostly his only assist.
Oh, it's a legend. Oh, it's no, dude. His steal is the final steal, dude.
Hell yeah!
The playoff finals legendary. So
don't you have that?
120 of those. No, dude, I have the Giannis block. Remember Giannis?
Oh, okay.
Giannis block.
Yeah, I mean it's Drew Holiday. I wouldn't want his legendary when I could get the Giannis block. I mean Giannis is the best player.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
And he's not even in that. He's not even in that holiday moment at all either.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I need to buy that holiday just for the moment ranks play utility.
True. You'll make your money back in no time, honestly.
Giannis is just out here making clutch free throws right now.
Yeah.
I know, dude. That's what I love about Giannis. He just went one ahead, right?
Yeah. What a legend.
God damn it.
Giannis
All right, where are we moving next, boys?
Okay. Enough about that. I feel like we should probably go over the throwdowns. So we go over the challenge that just happened, the current challenge, and then the Suggs challenge should be kind of quick, and then maybe a little Ja Morant speculation because we do be loving that.
You want me to bring up these sweet graphics, or do you have them?
No, go for it.
All right, let me find out where they're at here.
But yeah, so I mean, enough talk about the common sets, but I mean, the Throwdown set has been interesting. While John's pointing those up, the Throwdown set's been really interesting to me, honestly. I do feel like in a weird way, and maybe it's just because people aren't outraged, like people like the Throwdown set. But I feel like the S2 Throwdown set had more like people were talking about it more, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of shocked at just like how quiet it's gotten. Like people were like excited about it at first, and then like since then they just really haven't. I haven't really heard too much about it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I put these together, and we can kind of rip through them here because I have one for the Embiid as well. But I do have a couple like macro level thoughts about challenges, which I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinion on. But so this is the Russ. This is kind of where the Russ is at right now. And I kind of like these graphics. These are nice and simple. It uses the OTM, the fresh new OTM website, which if you guys haven't checked that out, pretty awesome update. It's like light speed now compared to where it was, and there's a bunch of cool shit. But your typical kind of challenge charts here is what I have shown. And so it's not perfect, but roughly the cost to complete was about 10-15, and right now the moments are at about 780. And so right now this is showing a profit of $100 because the Rust reward is about 330, 335 in that range. And tonight Embiid did pass Russ, or sorry, he didn't pass him yet, but over the last like 3 updates, he's been ahead of the Russ mint count. So I think the Russ is going to stay the temporary bottleneck for now. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the Suggs. But yeah, I mean, right now the Westbrook reward is plus EV challenge, which is good to see. And for the most part, there was 10-15 is like right around this area. So there's some people who got in it for a little bit earlier. I do think there is some propping up of these moments right now on the floor of the Throwdowns Series 3 due to some of the crafting speculation. And I don't know. I know you guys don't really think that S3s are going to be involved. I don't really either. So I think there is still some room to fall on some of these floor moments. You would assume that the floor of the Throwdowns is going to be a little bit less than the floor of the MGLEs right now, and those are at about in the low 50s. So I think there's a little bit of room to fall here, and I guess if you completed this challenge and you're holding on to some of these floor moments just out of pure speculation for crafting, I would think it would be a good time to kind of sell them and gain an extra $10 or so before they potentially fall next week. But yeah, right now Russ is showing us plus EV, which is good. And I'll pull up the Joel here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how well they stayed. And it is interesting because you mentioned the how many people are speculating that S3 is going to be used in the crafting. And I still am getting tweets from people saying like or comments on the video that me and TST put out where people are saying, yeah, they think for sure that S3 is going to be used. And I'm kind of surprised at how confident a lot of people feel about that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would like support that speculation would be that if they want to kind of contain it to the current set in case of things kind of go like get wild, and then they don't want like it to be affecting multiple sets, and they can kind of be like, okay, we tried it with this set and it didn't do what we thought it was going to do, or some crazy stuff happened. So that's why Throwdown Series 3 is weird.
Yeah.
That's the only like kind of like thought process of why they would want to contain it to that set for what I see. Or maybe they're kind of thinking like, okay, like in the future, we want to be just like kind of messing with the set it's in. So let's try it out with this one. Like, we don't want to just always be like grabbing moments from all over the place and them, but I think it makes them like it just limits their creativity and how they can really make this beneficial to the overall platform if they only stick to the set it's in. So it's not what I believe in, but I see that argument, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. But for me, it's just always been, I think that's a pretty solid argument, honestly. But for me, it's just like, it's already so rare. Like it's 888. it's like half the moments that are in S2. So like, do you really want to make that set even rarer? Which is like, that's kind of crazy, you know? So,
Yeah.
but we'll see. I could not be more. I've never been so like anticipating something. I feel like before, like I'm just dying for them to announce this.
I know. I'm right there with you. So then this is the Embiid, and I just put in what my projections are for after the challenge is over, and I actually think this is going to net out to be roughly neutral for just because of the Series 3 stuff, and the floor is going to be a little bit elevated. So I don't think it's horrible. I just would say that there's the Embiid reward is pacing to be more than the Russ, and so there's just not as much upside to this challenge now. We've seen, whatever reward ends up being the bottleneck is the one that has the most upside, and that challenge is the one that's typically the most profitable. So I just don't know if there's a lot of upside here with the Embiid, and I think it's more risky than anything. So that's kind of why I'm showing this one as, roughly being net neutral. And then I'll share the. I really want to share the projections I have for the next few, because this is where I want to get your guys' opinions on how these might play out. So what I did here is I just I did some guesstimating on the Suggs. Oh shit.
There we go. We're back.
There we go. We're back. So I did some estimating on the Suggs challenge, and the cost to complete the Suggs is going to be more than the Russ and the Embiid. Oh, so one thing that's interesting to me about the Embiid, real quick, while we're talking about it, is since the challenge was announced and it required the Tatum only as kind of being the one bottlenecky type of more expensive moment, the price has kind of gone down, pretty consistently over time. And I think that's even been more like expedited once the Embiid started outpacing the Russ, and people started seeing that the Embiid mint count was going to be more than the Russ. So I think that's just something that's like a macro type of thing that I think people should be aware of with these challenges. Is like in Series 2, people didn't really do challenges because of set completions. People just did them if they kind of wanted to. And we see like you look at the throwdowns, like there's like the throwdowns from Series 2, there's 1,800 freaking moments, and like the bottleneck's 200 or whatever, 215 or whatever. I think it's the sign, or is it the Diallo? I think is the bottleneck. Wolfpack would know if they're in the chat here, but I think it's the Diallo,
yeah,
or
Diallo
or something.
It's the Diallo.
And so like obviously if a 1,800 set came out today, the challenge would be 800, 900 reward. And so the focus has been on completing challenges for completions of sets and holding on to sets and yada, yada, yada. But what that's done is that's basically skewed all the value towards the one moment that ends up being the bottleneck. And so what I think is going to happen here with the Jalen Suggs is I'm projecting that is I'm thinking that that's what's going to be the bottleneck for the set, because it has the LeBron, and because the cost to complete is going to be exactly like Casey's saying. It's going to be the bottleneck because of LeBron. The cost to complete is going to be about $200 to $300 more than the other challenges were. And because of that, I think the mint count's going to come in a little bit lower on Suggs. And so he's got that one's got the most upside to run after. And so while I am showing that it's going to be a little bit more costly, because I think the prices will run up a little, or not they won't run up altogether. Like all the moments won't run up or whatever, but I think over like they'll maybe hold value more or whatever compared to what some of these other challenges are. So it's going to be a little bit more costly to complete the Suggs, but the reward I think has upside to be the bottleneck, and we've seen what the Wolfpack can do to these freaking bottlenecks. So I do think the Suggs is going to be the best challenge to do for throwdowns, but again, like all this stuff is relative, right? So as soon as Suggs like outpaces Russ, then Suggs isn't a good challenge anymore, and the Russ challenge is like the one that's going to be the right one,
Well, and then we have the big X factor with the crafting of the jaw. Like that could be. Exactly. We really have no idea where that's going to be until it happens,
And that likely isn't announced until after Jalen Suggs is completed. So, people are kind of in the dark for that. Quick question, John. What did you use as the Jalen Suggs rare for your projections?
I did not use anything yet, or I just kind of assumed it was like between the MSFE, the Jalen Suggs,
and the 4K
TSD, and then like maybe a random Magic. I just kind of took a guess there, so
okay.
I haven't really settled on anything. But that's a really good point that you bring up, because we've been talking about the metallic silver being used for the jaw, and then if they use a metallic silver for the Jalen Suggs, that there could be an interesting little dynamic there where we see a little bit of a run on some of the metallic silvers of guys that are in the playoffs, that people are maybe buying metallic silvers because that's speculation for crafting in the playoffs and stuff like that. So that could be interesting to see.
We saw the clay run up today, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy. Just going into that, so that in case you didn't know, they added Clay giving a voiceover on his Metallic Silver Phantom Edition, which is his first game back. And we know that he's going to be the next player for the Game Recognized Game series. And so I think this was kind of part of that happening. But yeah, it caused his Metallic Silver to basically double in price before coming back down a little. But I mean, it's sitting at 130. I think it was like 80 or like even a little below that at first.
Yeah, it's sitting around 90, I think, leading up to it. But yeah, like it shot up. Probably people speculating that it'll be required for his Game Recognized Game reward.
Which kind of leads into what Top Shot Tesla's saying. He's saying that they're going to use challenge rewards or Metallic Silver Phantom Edition, which are also challenge rewards. And he's saying that they're going to do that because the mint count is already it's all over the place. So people won't be like super upset that it's not uniform across the board. And I think that's something we kind of all talked about with each other, tweeted about, put out in videos, stuff like that. I think that's a huge possibility. And even with that being said, not only is the Clay Metallic Phantom Edition a challenge reward that has a variable mint count, but so is his Top Shot debut, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting for sure. And of course, I picked wrong and I bought the Top Shot debut earlier in the week, and now the freaking
and his 60K, his 60K saw a run too.
Early speculation run.
The first time when the like pack art was leaked or whatever. And people knew that Clay was the next one, just not when it was. So
because the Kevin Durant 60K was required for the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So real quick, what I'll say on these extra spice ones is, so the kind of like the projection here, I just kind of randomly picked a Ja versus LeBron. In my opinion, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' take on this, is I don't think it really matters too much. Those will just kind of be flipped based on whichever reward requires two of Steph, Luka, or LaMelo. And so I just picked it as LeBron, just to see if like that would make the LeBron so that'll be the most, the one that requires two of them will be the one that's the most expensive. And I think if I were Top Shot, I would put that on the LeBron just to like see if the LeBron like hype still overcomes that. But anyways, I just picked LeBron as being the one that is going to be the bottleneck, and that's why it's showing a positive projection versus the jaw. But like I said, those could easily be flip-flopped. We don't really know where that's going. And like to Chris's point, I saw some people talking about like there's the LeBron is going to be the celebrations and the jaw is the extra spice, or I don't know how the hell these things are set up, but there's like two categories, right, within extra spicy or something. I don't know if they really have they really done that in the past? Like, is Hustle and Show like split up perfectly for the challenges, or is it just kind of like random?
I think they did do it for Hustle and Show.
Correct. Yeah,
right.
Hustle and Show is there's half hustle, half show moments, and in Series 2, you just obviously needed the moments like the hustle for the hustle reward, which was the Giannis, or the show for the show. And then in Series 3, they did the same thing, but the wild cards were hustle and show moments from Series 2 that they divided by play type. And I think one thing that's interesting with the extra spicy set or extra spice set is that it's perfectly divided. Like if you divide it by play type, you have 9 scoring and like 9 assists / blocks / handles or whatever, like kind of in that same genre. So there is an equal split in that sense too. So it would be very interesting to see how they do that, because you could argue that the Curry and the LaMelo, if you're doing it by like the type, you could kind of argue that the Curry and the LaMelo would be in the same one because they're both like celebration type plays, you know?
Yeah.
No, the LaMelo's considered a spicy play.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the spin pass.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty spicy.
But
what do you guys think about LaMelo being priced over Luka?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's crazy to me. LaMelo is currently the most expensive moment in the set, period, right now at this instant. Like, not by much, really? But $2 over Curry.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, I kind of get it because just the lack of LaMelo moments, right? Like, it goes back to like the whole like dilution thing, right? Like,
just really quickly,
a month ago,
has them in the chat if you want them. But yeah, go for it. Sorry.
Fewer moments for Melo. Yeah, fewer moments for Melo. Exactly. So, like a few months ago, Donovan Mitchell is probably a little bit more sought after, and then he shows up in a couple sets, and now it's not that important anymore. And that's kind of the same thing we've been seeing with Steph, too. So I think that has a little bit to do with it, of just the lack of LaMelo moments. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. I was thinking that like. I was kind of thinking Bobby Portis would be a little bit more sought after just because he doesn't have any moments and he's on the Bucks, who are going to make a big playoff run.
Yeah, we might see that afterwards a little more, right? Like his long-term price might be a couple dollars higher than the other ones that would be in the same range, but during the challenge utility, you don't see that bump as much because if you're buying him for that purpose, you're not going to buy him now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the LaMelo, I think it's also just because of just like not only him having less moments, but just like where his moment ends up when you look at all of his moments, big picture. Like it kind of does fall in right where it's supposed to in terms of like circulation count based on price. Like his challenge reward from Rising Stars is 9,600. It's at $60, and then this one's at 6,500, and it's at 73. So it's kind of like it follows that pattern as well. Like even if like you take the correlation of like that Steph has more moments compared to LaMelo, it kind of falls right where it's supposed to, which I think is interesting as well. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the set plays out.
Yeah, like circling back to the spice, like I'm interested to hear your guys' take on this, like because I wrestle with it every time when I'm trying to do projections on, and I've been in this weird cycle where like I was too high for the All-Star Game set, and most of the prices came in below for the All-Star Game set, and so then I kind of corrected, I thought, and then when the Throwdowns came out, I was too low for the Throwdowns, and the Throwdown set all went above what I was projecting. And so then I thought I corrected for that again, and then now these are coming in slightly lower than what my projections were. And it's interesting to me, like part of me thinks like, I wonder if there's anything to do with just like the CS gating, like the Throwdowns were CS gated basically, right? And they held a little bit more value. Does that have anything to play with? Like the today's packs weren't really gated. Like anybody could get them. 5,000's pretty easy. Like not a lot of people have that. And there wasn't any tiers really. And like a lot of people got six packs or four to six packs. do we think that it's like number of packs that plays a part? Do we think it's like the CS that plays a part? Do we think it's the price of the packs that plays a part? Because now the floor is basically the price of the packs. Like, what are your guys' take on that?
It's a good question. I think there's a lot of things that play into part. I think part of it too is like that Throwdown set dropped right after Roham like did his spaces, so sentiment was just very high. And then on top of that, that Throwdown set is better than that S2 Throwdown set for so many different reasons. So like there's like even just like psychologically and emotionally, there was a lot that played into that pack drop. And with this extra spice set, it's a common set, so people are a little less scared to sell because they're like, oh, if I sell too early, I lose $5. While if you sell too early on a rare, you could lose $100. You know, like there's such a big difference of like thought process for people. But I do think the CS probably has a pretty significant play on it too, where like, yeah, if people who stack CS, they're not probably in a rush to get rid of a pack they just opened because they're probably there for the long haul. Well, if you don't have a CS gate, like it does invite the possibility of someone who's maybe not even like a straight up rent seeker, but someone who's just like kind of dipping their toes in Top Shot, and they're like, hey, I'm not going to complete this set, and I don't think this moment has any like flash challenge utility. I'm going to sell it and use that Dapper to get a player I want. Like if you get a Lance Stevenson, like, well, you could go and buy a Jokic 60K, a Klay Thompson 60K, a Steph Curry 60K, and suddenly you have 3 players that are in the playoffs. Like that could have some utility. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the Roham point, just like Jeb said, that like Throwdowns was the one right after. What else is interesting? You're talking about the pack price. The floor moments of the Throwdowns were essentially the pack price plus the commons. So that kind of lines up as well for that. Yeah. I think maybe from like your projections or whatever, you kind of had projected some loser packs in the Throwdowns, and we basically had some break even packs, and then LeBron did a little better than he didn't. So they weren't crazy over. I think maybe the Roham spaces maybe accounts for that. And then right now, like it's really easy, I think, for people to sell at what they got it for right now, because they just like either maybe they're coming back to Top Shot and they weren't in it for a while, and they're not in it regular, or it's people that just took a bath in the February monsoon, as John likes to call it. And, them being like, okay, I took a chance. I missed on this one, but I got my money back and I'm happy with that. The other thing will be really looking at these challengers afterwards, right? Like if these challenges turn out to be like positive EV, it's that people miscalculated, or like the challenge premium wasn't enough in these, and people were able to collect the set. So people that maybe collected the set tonight already, they're going to end up in a good spot with where these challenges end.
I mean, there were some people in my Discord that got the set for under $400, which is pretty damn good right now, considering the price point right now. So I think my main takeaways are like, I think previously I haven't ever really accounted for pack price, and I haven't ever really accounted for the CS. And I think that's something that I do want to start accounting for moving forward. And then the other thing,
you control the market, though. You determine the prices, so I don't know why you have to worry about that.
Shoot. This last month has been like a little nice little example against that argument. But then the other thing that I would say is like I think that it should be Top Shot's goal, like however they set up their CS tiers and however many packs per tier and whatever. I think it should be their goal that everybody can go through the cube once. And like, there's always going to be like a couple people that are like, number 300 and they get through twice or whatever. But like the majority of people should only be able to go through the cube once. I think that's like kind of the sweet spot. And I think that helps. Like if you want to make people like rewarded for being able to buy more packs, then do it on like the CS scale. And let like let the heavier collectors buy 5 packs, because I went through the queue 3 times today. I bought 6 packs and I haven't sold anything yet. Like that's like what, like people, there's more people that have a higher CS that have been in the game for longer, whatever, that are going to be like that. And then there's, I think there's a decent correlation there. But I do think like there is something to be said about like people being able to fire through the queue a bunch of times, and maybe maybe you got 6, like personally, this happened to me. I got 6 packs today. I didn't get a LaMelo, a Luka, or a Steph. And so then it's kind of like, well, shit. I didn't really like hit it big. And I'm sure like I made a couple bucks and whatever, but like it wasn't like a huge like win for me. And so I'm sure people in that space are like, oh, well, I'll just sell everything and try again next week. Whereas if you just kind of get through once and you're only able to buy 1 pack or 2 packs, then maybe there's like a little bit more eagerness to try to like time things out, try to figure out how it works. Maybe think about going for a challenge if you land a Luka or a LeBron or a LaMelo or something. So that's my hot take.
No, I
like the idea of kind of what you're talking about. It's like their goal should be how many times people can go through to try to like kind of increase the value. I would say a nice spot would be that no one goes through more than twice. Like even if, because it's going to be really hard for them to ever like really predict that, right? Like, and kind of nail that. But if we didn't, I think not having a situation where people go through 3 times is important, right? Because if you look at like someone who had a high collector score, like if someone went through 3 times, that's like the equivalent to, that's better than my benefit of having a high collector score in this drop.
That's a good point.
But like, I think it definitely, if we're sticking to these types of packs, like the collector score matters most about rare and legendaries. These common ones, it's never going to like really move the needle.
Yeah.
Because like those are the ones that the collector score is really going to matter, increasing your percentage on hitting the packs where not everyone gets one.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that the general consensus was that these packs were going to be plus EV prior to the drop? Or do you think people were on the fence about that?
I think people were on the fence just because so many of them just took such a bath like previously. So just like I mean, it's pretty easy for people to wrap their heads around whether they like really look into it or just casually like, oh, pack's dropping. That a rare pack is worth buying if you're getting a guaranteed rare. But commons are a little more like who knows, and if you didn't like, maybe you didn't understand or didn't really know that the mint count on these were 6,500, which I feel like that should be a pretty like easy indicator that these things will be very profitable. But if you didn't know that, maybe you line up and you get 1 pack, or you just decide to skip because you've been skipping common pack drops or standard pack drops or whatever they're called. So once again, I think there's just a lot in play because of what's happened in the last like 2 months now, like where we had like just saturated by mixed packs, then the Roham spaces. And I believe this is the first common drop since the Roham spaces, right? Or am I bugging?
Yeah.
No, they had the fresh threads. No, they had the fresh threads drop. No, that was in the mixed packs. Yeah. So this is the first one. And so I do
fresh threads was part of the monsoon.
Yeah, you're right.
It was like the end of the monsoon. It was still raining, but like it wasn't raining sideways.
Like sun was starting to come out. They had announced the spaces, so the sun was starting to come out, but it was like still kind of the like secondary monsoon pass.
But what I would say about the like sentiment of these packs prior, I didn't see anything negative, but for the fact that we were getting like the lowest mint count since Cool Cats 1, like it wasn't very positive. Like you'd think that would have been like a bigger deal leading up to them. So like I didn't see anything like people being like, oh, I'm staying away or boycotting or I don't know about these or anything. It was just more like kind of like everyone's just like, okay, like I'm ready for a pack drop. Like, yeah, I'm going to buy some.
Which is not the worst thing either, because it's like being over excited or over like pessimistic about it is not like good like for the space. So it was kind of a good thing that I think everyone kind of had the correct expectations for this. And then really quick, I want to pull this from the chat. Gobbler is asking, are low serial numbers dead? I know this is something us three and Mike and stuff have talked about
before.
Were they ever alive?
They weren't in my mind. They were not in my mind.
Not in my book. Yeah, I don't.
But people keep harping on when will they add those to Flash challenges? So maybe they'll complain enough and get their way there, and then people.
I mean, they did already. They with the kind of the less than 15K or whatever.
Yeah, but that was a moment. That was a moment, not a serial number, right? Like, so you couldn't use a 60K below 15.
Yeah,
and that's what people want.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so. I know that Matt. Someone tweeted at Matt about that. And he said it's coming, but I think what he might have meant is the like under 15,000 mint of a moment. I don't know if they'll ever specifically add utility to low serials, which means like I think this is the quote unquote utility that's being pointed out. Is it's easier to liquidate. Like it adds a little extra liquidity to your moment. But yeah, I mean, I've been someone who's never
pull up GM Shorty's comment. That's a good one. That made me giggle. That's good, man. I always skew if there's ever 805 that pops up, I always buy 805. Like if it's a rare and there's 805, I'm like I go for it.
Yeah, and DJ Local is a all-star Darius Garland jersey serial holder. I couldn't agree more. But yeah, I mean,
as you see when the players join the platform, Clay bought his jersey number.
Yes, all I need to do is wait for him to onboard Darius Garland, and then he'll pay way too much, and I will make off like a bandit.
And hopefully it will be around All-Star game, so he targets that one.
Yeah, exactly. You're reading my mind. I just hope Roham also is reading my mind. No, but I do think that unless it's the number one serial, the last mint, the jersey number, and then kind of like 1 through 10 is kind of cool, I guess. Like it doesn't like 2 through 10 doesn't move the needle as much for me as jersey number 1 or last mint, but a single digit mint or number 10 is kind of cool. But beyond that, I do not care at all. Like if I pull a number 76, like whoop-de-doo, 2 digit. Like if someone's dumb enough to pay me extra money for that, I mean, I'm cool with that. But I don't think paying extra. Oh, and then you're right. Sorry, James. The 75 for for Series 3 is also like one that would definitely move the needle for me too. But yeah, I don't know.
Not
I just
for
don't.
me, apparently.
Really?
I just sell 75s at the floor. I just sell 75s at the floor, dude.
Wait, you've sold multiple at the floor?
No, just one.
Oh, just the one. Yeah, that was painful. That was painful. This is kind of cool. Yeah, 7. Like I think so. One thing that I've heard, I think it was Justin from Moment Ranks pointed out. He was like, look, like you shouldn't expect utility with serials, but that being said, if you collect a bunch of a special serial, all it takes is like 2 or 3 people to want that serial for some weird reason, and suddenly you can get a little more for it. Like I wouldn't bet on that, but I mean there is a reason that like people can sell numbers 420 and 69 for a premium, because those are numbers that people are like, oh, like that's a number I recognize. Like sure. You know,
but all other numbers, never seen them before. Only seen 420 and 69. All those other numbers, I'm like, whoa, that's a new one.
I don't know why I'm laughing so much at Jake's comment. No, it's so true though. 360K. Like it's so true. I also like I see what like people post on Twitter like I just pulled it like number 1 60K, like my life's over. It's like, or my life's complete.
My life's over. My life's over.
Not my life's over.
They're coming.
Maybe they just watched this segment of the show and now it is.
But I always think in my head like, I don't know if that's worth that much. Like even if it's a number 1 of a 60K, like,
or when they pull it for a player that's just not good. Like I don't think anyone to Jake's point. If he pulled the number 1 Daniel Tice or the jersey serial Daniel Tice, I don't think anyone's like, oh my gosh, I will pay you whatever you like ask. Like, I don't think people are lining up for.
We'll need a new Dingling to come on and just sweep the number ones or something.
Yeah,
Well,
but even then, he sweeps the ones because like those could actually potentially hold some collector value. Same thing with the jersey cereals, like that makes sense to me. But paying an extra $200 so you can get the number 8 cereal of a Jordan Poole 60K, and Jordan Poole is like an actually good player, even, but like I don't know, that just doesn't move the needle for me.
But I think too now, like, right, as we get more moments, there's more of those too. So like that's also why you're seeing less of a premium for those, probably, or like they're taking longer to sell, or you got to really lower them or whatnot, because like, you know, every 60K has like 10 or 9 single digit ones. So if someone really likes those single digits, well, they have a bunch of them.
That's good. That's good.
But like what I will say about that too is like I don't come from a collector space. Like I didn't collect, like I collect cards as a kid. I have like some old ones from a kid, but like I wasn't in that realm, and I don't come from that realm. So like, you know, some collectors might be like hearing us say this and like, you guys have it all wrong, you know, that's a big thing. And you know, like, well, I see that the market values them more than others, but I wouldn't bet on it like this increasing in value more.
Yeah, the Deep Threat is a pretty sharp guy, and I agree with this. And then quickly, what Bobby's saying, to his point, like Dingling does only purchase like number 1 cereals and last mints. Like he doesn't go and just be like, I'm gonna buy the number 27 cereal because I think it's underpriced. He only buys the number 1, the last in the jersey, and because from like a collector standpoint, I think those can hold like real significant value, while everything else is more like you're just hoping for the right buyer to come along and pay a little too much because it has sentimental value, or like they have this weird OCD where they want to collect every like 333, or they want to collect every 111 or something like that, you know. But it seems there was a contingent that liked low cereals, but I think that challenges hurt that market. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, who knows? Like I keep all my low cereals that I pull. I'm never paying extra for a low cereal, but if I get a triple digit or a double digit or something, I'm not in a rush to sell it because, you know, maybe some utility does happen around that at some point. And I don't want to be the person kicking myself that I sold a 3-digit on the floor and then it actually does hold some utility.
Or a number 75 rare MBO
on the floor. That's all we're asking, baby.
Did you see do you know who bought it?
Yeah, dude, freaking Acorns. He's in the OTM Discord, I think.
Okay.
Not in mine. He's in the OTM one pretty heavy.
Did you message him?
No, he's in live token. He's in live token. No, he freaking he commented on my tweet, dude. He was like, "Thanks."
What a savage! Just absolutely dunking on you.
Well, the best part about that is like I got a message, like a DM, like right after from another grad that was in my Discord, and he's like, "Hey, I've been tracking like the 75s like super heavily. Like, I'm not like, is there a reason why you don't see there's any premium involved with those? Like, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "God damn it."
Guys have been doing tons of research and just sweating as John just drops it at the floor.
Yeah. JonBoyBeats has spoken. He sets the market.
Should we fire through some of these questions we got on Twitter?
Yeah, I was literally about to pop them up. I got the first one up here.
DeMar put up a 50 burger.
Dang.
I know, dude. That knocked my guy Montreal Dragons out of first place on Moment Rank's play, dude. He was crushing
Montreal
first, and then he just
Dragons.
I know.
What a name. That is in honor of a pro basketball team in Montreal that lasted a very short time.
Hell yeah.
Oh, shout out Fryman. Respect. Anytime that's a hustle in my book, so respect. And Bobby, I did get a flunk I have 2.
I wanted a damn flunk and I forgot about the flunks.
I had a mint pass or whatever, and I just never did anything with it.
Come on. Can I buy your mint pass after mint?
What's you?
Sure. Sure.
What cereal? 75
cereal.
The mint pass?
Yeah. What's the cereal, dude? Is it low cereal?
So first one, Flash Challenge. What do you guys think about teaming up with Flash Challenges? This might be a polarizing topic, so like let's be nice to each other. Like I don't want everyone to get crazy. But do you like some people? I think Patrick Mahomes has kind of been one of the leaders in this, saying that he thinks they should turn off gifting during challenges, which I don't know if that makes a lot of sense because there's always challenges going on.
Well, I think he means those moments.
Yeah, or the specific moments for the challenge. Like you shouldn't be able to gift them. What are our thoughts on that?
I'm okay with the gifting allowed in its current form for kind of 2 reasons. One being that if you own this NFT, you should be allowed to do with it what you want. So if that's, I want to buy one so that I can complete this with friends, then I should be able to do that. If it's because I want to get money out of it by lending it out, like tons of people like charge rental fees for people in Discords and stuff like that. And, you know, they get to make like the $20 and not have to sell the moment that they want to keep. So they get the challenge utility out of it for that reason. So I'm for that. And then, the last thing is that, like, you know, people are saying that this is the reason like challenge rewards are dumping after and people are racing to the bottom. Like that was happening when gifting was not on. So I don't necessarily believe that will necessarily solve that aspect of it. Yes, it will make mint counts lower. And that will make the challenge rewards like more expensive, but it doesn't mean that they'll meet the value of that new mint count. It'll just mean that people are racing to the bottom from a higher starting point. So that's my opinion on it. Maybe it's changed. Maybe the market's changed, and that if like gifting, like, you know, people have matured or whatever, and that's the only reason people are racing to the bottom. I doubt it though.
Yeah, I think we kind of all agree with that, right? I don't think anyone's anti-gifting here.
I think it just provides more utility, and I would say, like, honestly, I think the better play than, so like let's say there's an expensive challenge and you are
I almost spit my water out.
I saw that.
That's funny.
Incredible comment.
I think the better play than, like, okay, let's say there's like 7 people that are completing a hard challenge, and then like you get all your moments back and you sell the reward, and then you have to buy somebody's like shitty moment for overpriced just to get your money. Like, I don't know, that seems like a lot of work. I think the like play is to do the rental, like you guys are talking about it, and like say, hey, I have this moment for sale, or for rent. If I were to buy it right now, or if I were to sell it right now, it'd be X price. So I'm going to take, you know, I'll take half of that as a rental fee. You don't have to buy it, blah, 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 whatever. And then you just like continue to kind of make it that way. I think that's kind of the smart way to do it. If you're some person who's, I think that's better than teaming up on challenges anyway. But I think it's all good. You do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like if you have, like you're kind of saying, like if you have like a moment that's like, I think if it's a common, sure, sell it, whatever. But like if you hold rares and stuff, like just selling those and then trying to time it, like who knows what can happen in between. And it just makes more sense to rent it out or team up or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you own the moment. Like I think if they, if they restrict that, then that a lot just comes into question in general. Like it's like who really owns these? Like why? Like, and then what if, like, let's say they turn off gifting. You could pull the moment out of Top Shot into your wallet and then send it to someone else anyway. So if they turned off gifting, it would just make things more annoying. It wouldn't stop like working together to do a challenge if people really wanted to do it. So I think that's the other thing that people aren't really considering when they are super, super against it.
This is an interesting comment by GM Shorty, and I'm not sure I fully grasp it, but the whole like moving to custodial wallets is we're still like at the beginning phases of that, and we still really haven't seen like a whole lot from TopShot on it. And like, I mean, you would think like the goal is to be able to like move these things on and off TopShot pretty quickly and easily, in order for the third party type of sites to be able to create cool shit to do with moments. But like that is an interesting one. That's an interesting way to do things, and being able to like transfer it to like a fucking DAO or whatever. I don't know how those things work, but I mean that'd be cool.
And
there's potential there. Someone's gonna figure it out.
And Bobby, I think they have actually done a really good job at cracking down on bots and double accounts. I think, who was it? Recently, someone tagged me in something. James, I think his name's James. He tagged me on Twitter saying, like, look at all these buys. This is clearly a bot. And after looking into it, it was just clear like some guy was clicking all the serials and then just rapid buying trade tickets. But Jacob replied and he said, hey, I forwarded this to our team. And then the next day he replied, he said, hey, they looked into it. It's completely fine. And Roham on his spaces mentioned that now because of they have a lot more infrastructure built to combat botting and multi-accounting, that they're comfortable like doing stuff like this. I do think they have really prioritized that for good reason, because if multi-accounting and botting is running rampant, then TopShot will fail. I think that's incredibly important that they stop it. And I think they have prioritized it. And I think I think we've seen the results of that.
Well, if we're talking specifically about like completing challenges with multi-accounts, et cetera, like you still have a 7-day restriction on gifting if you're not KYC'd. So
yeah,
that kind of
type in your social security
to the chat right now.
Well, it's actually pretty cool trick that StreamYard has. If you put your social security in, it'll actually blank it out. So
and you'll be double entered into the giveaway.
Well, speaking of giveaway, J7 sent a moment. I'm taking a look at that. So huge thank you to J7. Didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Cool.
Sent to Tatum 60K. So we'll give that away in a second. I'll get that set up while I bring up the other question and we start talking about this. I really liked this question a lot, actually. This is from, let me zoom in on this so we can see a little better. This one's from Analytics FF. He said, given that the video clips aren't on the blockchain, are you in favor of them re-editing and remastering all the Series 1 and Series 2 moments? So let's start with that, because this is like such a perfect question, considering they literally just changed a moment. They added the voiceover to the Klay Thompson Metallic Silver Phantom Edition moment.
Yeah, I don't think I'm for it. I understand the argument, like, they're going to look cooler and stuff, but like, I don't know, I like the progression that you see in TopShot. I think like them kind of looking back to be like, oh, like that's how it was.
Acorns is here, dude. My nemesis.
Also, did you notice that he changed his YouTube? Did you notice that he changed his YouTube? Earlier in the chat. Early in the chat, he's like, yo, I heard I got a shout out. Love you, Johnny. And then he's like, love Acorns. And now he changed his name to make sure he's recognized.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Just kidding. You're not my nemesis, man. Good stuff.
But yeah, that's my like quick take, is that like, I don't know, like I'm okay. I also like I would argue like they're not horrendous either. Like if they were really, really bad, like
it's just not even the player. It's just like
I fell in love with the product because it was so cool.
That question makes me like, I'm like, oh shit, change whatever the hell, like any of these videos at any time. Like I'm like nervous now. I gotta like rethink.
John just liquidated his account.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute, this could just be a black video one day. That's like,
it's just like you just go onto your favorite moment. And it's just Austin just like tapping at the screen. Just like, what happened? April Fool's is tomorrow. Like maybe I'll do something there. But yeah, I agree, and it's like, let's not rewrite history here. Like part of history is the imperfections, you know. When like in the Pokemon games and Pokemon cards, people like treasure the like exploits, the rare like misprints, stuff like that. And like we want to be able to show progression, you know, like, and if they redo it, then everything kind of looks the same. And we once again have discussed, hey, we need to like there needs to be clear cut differences between Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3. But yeah, before we move on,
can we pull up Ryan's comment here?
Yeah,
put that on a t-shirt.
I will.
Also, Jules is bringing up some interesting points, and it'd be kind of cool if like the current owners got to vote. The current
just
owners.
Moment by moment.
Yeah, like, okay, we're gonna remaster this. Who wants it? And it's like you have to own it. So like then it's like you got people just buying up the moment because they're like worried they're gonna lose the vote.
That'd be hilarious.
We could see some cool pumps on certain moments.
That'd be incredible. Okay, so real quick, we're giving away a Tatum 60K.
Win audio.
Yeah, win audio. That would be cool. If you had audio, I'm down with that. Just don't change the actual video. But yeah, so enter hashtag Tatum in the chat. You must like the stream and subscribe to be eligible for the giveaway. Otherwise, your name will not pop up. And then I think we have one more giveaway because I saw my guy Bobby Gorgeous said he sent a moment as well. So thank you to F7 and Bobby Gorgeous. Extremely generous. Appreciate you guys for watching. That's already giving more than enough. But we'll let this run a bit, and we'll come back to it. Let's go to part 2 of this question. Do you want them to reward set moment holders for time held, or do you think that creates too much volatility in challenges? I'll go ahead and start with this one because this is something I asked Roham during the spaces, and I was kind of disappointed almost the fact that he just seemed completely befuddled that like he had never thought of the idea, or maybe that just wasn't something they considered. I think time should play into collector score or staking or whatever they decide to do. I think time is important, and there's a reason they have the dates on when you complete a set. They show that. The reason they do that is because like that adds to your collector experience. Well, how about you have collector score, or like you get, I don't know, you stake a set, and for however long you've held the set, you get Dapper reward points, or you get Dapper credit, or I don't know, like that would be something they'd have to discuss for sure. But I do think time should play into Top Shot in some aspect or multiple facets.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer and it's low-hanging fruit, to be honest.
Yeah. I would like to see and I don't know the solution to this, but I would like to see if they're going to do it time-based, I would like to see a staking type of thing where, and again, like I have zero idea how the hell this would work or whatever, if you get flow tokens or blah, 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 but like that's how I would like to see it rewarded. I wouldn't like to see it rewarded for CS and for whatever the hell. I'd like to see like, hey, if you're going to like hold a moment and you're going to like get passive income or whatever off of this moment, that it's going to be like a kind of a new mechanic that maybe isn't necessarily just tied to like being able to buy more packs or whatever, but is tied to like a true like proof of, you know, staking into the site type of deal.
Well, even if it's those rewards, like
that
they've been talking about, you know, that you can get your league pass and your hot dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
let me stake moments and get league pass or whatever. I can have league pass as long as I stake a moment.
Yeah, and I think DJ Local, your comment here is kind of exactly why it should be in play, because someone who held a set for an entire year, I would argue should get rewarded maybe more than someone who aped into it because they were like, oh, this set's coming up. I think this set's coming up. I'm going to buy the set and hope I timed it right. Because then that's encouraging. Then it's kind of, I guess the only reason you'd want to hold is because it's just the safest thing instead of trying to guess constantly. And on top of this, yeah. So James is right. It would affect gifting where people wouldn't want to break their sets. And to a deep threat, based on what Roham said, it responded to my question. I truly think that date is there just to add to the user experience. So you can be like, oh yeah, look, I've had the set for this long. Like, I don't think currently there's anything on their roadmap internally to reward how long you've held a set. I think, at least, I don't know.
Yeah, they have it there, but it's quite possible that it isn't retroactive.
Oh boy, just when we were talking about rapping, look who decided to show up.
What's up, virgins?
Hey, dude.
Oh, looking spiffy.
Yeah, sorry, fellas. Sorry. We ran late.
All right, now we can start.
Yeah, we're talking.
Someone in the chat someone in the chat recently just said, "I just got here. Could you guys restart?" So I guess, we're starting over.
Max packs. Did we cover flunkies, some ballers? What are we talking about, huh?
At least nobody can claim that Zakarian rugged him on the first show.
Yeah,
he's here in the flesh.
I was feeling some real guilt here. We've been planning this show for 19 months, it feels like, and then to not be here at the beginning.
As you can tell by our intro video.
I would also say that for the first 5 months, I found it really weird that this Mike guy was just messaging me. Never met him, about some sort of NFT project, and I didn't know what an NFT was.
Well,
that was real weird.
Now you wonder why I doxed you. It seems like you guys have been crushing it, though. I was reading the Yelp reviews. All good so far, huh?
Yeah, we've been delivering under 30 minutes. Everything's been correctly as ordered, so it's been going pretty smoothly.
Do you know what's funny? I was like, there's no way, the show started late. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get on this thing because we're going to do a tight hour tonight. In hour 42 right now. We just hit hour 42. You guys are still cooking, huh?
I mean, that's just my brand.
PPE's in the chat asking, what is this new show about? And the simple answer is we need another hour of the day where Mike's on stream. So this is kind of what we're telling them.
Yeah.
People wanted more Mike.
Also, look at Pro Eric trying to make a dig, yet still very active in the chat like he is for every stream.
I mean, he has no woman to spend time with, so
I think if you pulled up AOL Instant Messenger, he'd be in there too. Do you know what I mean? I think he's on all of the
ICQ, man.
Jeb, did you hit 1,000 followers? I was telling the people we need to make this happen. Are you at 1,000 subs yet?
Oh, I have no idea. Let me see. We're at 980. We're 980.
Come on.
Oh, come on, 20 people sub.
Well, let's do this first giveaway here. We have 54 entries. There's 101 people watching. So if you're watching and you haven't put hashtag Tatum, you haven't subscribed and liked, the odds here are pretty good right now. I'll give it a second. No, actually, we'll give this one away. We have a Luca to give away too. So let's
Top Shot debut. What are we doing?
60K, slightly about as valuable, but
same either.
Jeb, I just unsubscribed and resubscribed, so I hope that helps.
Wow, real one. I appreciate it. Okay, go Grizz. So go Grizz. Go ahead and drop your your Top Shot username in the chat. And then I'll get the one set up for Luca right now too.
That's great.
Well, real quick,
I think next week just to preview next week, I think we're gonna have a lot of playoff talk. I think that's gonna be the genesis of next week's show, because we're gonna be like 3 days from the end of the season. Theo Maledon and who's the freaking guy on the Blazers that doesn't have a moment? They're gonna be like
Williams.
Williams. No, the guy Brandon Williams. They're gonna be
on the Blazers. Yeah.
He's averaging 38 a game right now.
First team all NBA by next weekend. And
he might have one.
Have nothing else to talk about. Yeah, he might have one. Honestly.
He kind of deserves one at this point. He's been putting up solid assist numbers. Give him a 12.
We gotta have some hoops talk next weekend.
Let's definitely save players for next week though. I gotta finish packing my playoff bag, so I need to before you release any sort of spreadsheets over there. I need to make sure I get the rest of those moments.
All right.
I wasn't even talking moments, dude. I was just talking hoops.
Just hoops?
Yeah, Mike, did you catch
put in some moments?
Did you catch the Bucks Nets game or heard about it at all?
No, I haven't. I actually haven't seen one thing about basketball tonight.
Wow. It went to OT. Luke Giannis hit a game time 3 in the fourth, and then classic KD bricked at the end of the fourth quarter and bricked at the end of OT.
What classic KD? How dare you?
Was behind the line on this
one. I'm just looking right now. The Pistons beat the Sixers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Also, DeRozan went for a 50 burger.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then DeRozan, they went to OT too. Big night in the league. Big night in the association.
Lakers down 10, right, or 11 right now. We like that as well.
Wow, they're keeping it close today. Good for them.
Wow.
Bobby says Cade went off, and I think Cade is like the Pistons are letting the boys play right now, and Cade is just like going ham.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. He's gonna end up winning Rookie of the Year. I can't believe it.
You think so?
I really do think it's like straight up a three-way tie right now between those guys.
I know. It's gonna be wild. There's 10 days left. There's like 3-4 games. I don't know.
Yeah.
And freaking Mobley's probably not gonna play because he twisted the old ankle.
Yeah. So really quick as we're wrapping things up, I know some people were asking about All Day. Just everyone's quick opinion on the historic drop. I know we don't have a ton of details, but for me personally, and maybe I know you're a huge Packers fan, John, but for me, that announcement does not move the needle at all. I did not care about Brett Favre, and I definitely don't care about the lesser moments in that historic pack.
I'm just pissed because I love Brett Favre, but let's not.
You're just pissed with yourself about that?
No. I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed about loving Brett Favre. That's ingrained in that's like my childhood, dude. That's how it was brought up. That's it's like Brett Favre and go to church on Sundays, dude. It's like those two things. But I'm just pissed that they need to do archives now. Let's just chill. Let's get this thing figured out first, and then when there's some dead period, let's come out with some archives.
Yeah,
but
maybe drops week 1 through 12 first before.
Those are archives.
Yeah. At this point. Hey, can I ask you guys one thing before we get out of here? And if you already talked about it, just tell me to fuck off. But I brought this up this morning because while we were live this morning, they made the announcement about the clay stuff, right? The game recognized game. Mm-hmm. What are your guys' thoughts about how we're just seeing historical moments just sprinkled out throughout the entire year versus just kind of it being, maybe it's just because of the time that I joined, right? Where Run It Back was such a cool thing. And then they introduced archives, but the archives were kind of tied to Run It Back. And then all of a sudden now we're hey, also Deck the Hoops around Christmas is legendary. And now this as well. And I'm not even saying I'm fully against it or anything. It's something that popped up this morning.
It's interesting.
Are you saying that these moments are going to be from their returning game?
Yeah.
Are they? Is that announced or is that speculation?
Oh, and maybe you guys listen. I'm probably wrong. I got that from that boardroom article that I read. It seemed like that's what they were doing, but maybe that's
my biggest takeaway was they were only come out with 941 packs. So I read that one wrong,
dude. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean that's interesting. I I read it before coffee, so I didn't really like actually read it. But
I listened to
that takeaway. But that is interesting.
I read it and tweeted about it with 5 minutes before I had to go teach. So I was not in any part of understanding what
I don't think it's let me pull it up. I don't think it's historical moments. It just says they will feature moments picked from these players who have all suffered injuries.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. So I don't think it is. But it's interesting you bring that up because like we're seeing it happen in all day already. Kind of weird. I mean, you could say it's the off season and maybe they're establishing it for next year, but you would think they would release weeks 1 through 12 first. And then we're seeing it everywhere in the UFC. This entire Series 1 drop was historical moments. These Series 0 and Series 1 has been historical moments.
Sorry.
Wait, he gave us permission to say fuck off. Why didn't we do that?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. You know why? Because neither of you guys read it either. All right.
No, I got my information from the morning marketplace.
Oh, that's funny.
TST, are you still replying to people on your thread, or did you get to take some time off now?
Spent the whole day doing that.
Yeah, whenever you put out a thread, it's just a full. You're just like, oh, well, the rest of my day is done.
Usually I get 0 engagement. It was really annoying this time.
I just wish no one would read it. Dude,
watch that farming video or something.
that thread that me and Clegaines put out with the memes was just everyone replying like, "Oh, Clegaines memes are so sick." I'm just like, thanks. Everyone's like, dude, the where's Waldo moment is so good. I'm like, dude, even Clegaines has made better memes than that. Not like, why are you focused on his bad ones?
Yeah, but only one of you thinks Helen Keller's legit. So that's one of the craziest takes I've ever seen in the history of the internet.
Craziest take I've ever seen.
That was wild. We need to get that. So we're talking about playoffs next week, and then I think we do an interview with Clegaines just to be like, where did this come from? I'm sorry, guys. You were trying to wrap up, and I came on and derailed.
No, I agree, Ryan. By the way, I agree, and I don't think that one got enough love. But anyway, well, let's do this Luka giveaway real quick. I'll give everyone. We have over 100 viewers, so we only have 57 entries. So I'll give two minutes for a hashtag Luka real quick.
It's because they're not all KYC. That's why.
You like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe is your KYC.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, like we said earlier, social security number in the chat.
That gets you a double entry as well.
I like that.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, is there any? I think we kind of covered everything we were going to talk about that we had mapped out. I guess while we're waiting for this, just thank you to everyone for tuning in to the first Shot Tank show. Like we said at the very beginning, this is the first show, so we will add some production value to this as we feel it out and kind of get this show gets its wheels and we figure out what we want to do with this. But appreciate everyone for tuning
PPE
in.
is fucking happy next week when he tunes in and like
it'll be so different. We won't even talk about Top Shot.
Welcome to the PPE show. It's just us watching the Sabonis moment over and over again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and draw this. Huge thank you to Bobby Gorgeous and J7 again for 2 moments to give away. Super appreciate it, and thank you guys for tuning in. Airplane mode. What an incredible!
Look at the.
It's so good.
You off, dude.
Yeah. Mike, did you get that Dick Butkus jersey yet?
It's right there.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh,
all right. So we had Go Grizz and Airplane Mode. Please make sure to DM me or Top Shot usernames or put them in the chat or whatever. I will make sure you guys get those moments. Once again, huge thank you to Bobby Gorgeous, my man, and J7. And It is. Anyone have anything else? I think we're at a good wrap up time. We got we got.
Wait.
This is amazing. Hell yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, so real quick, Bobby, this is going to be a regularly scheduled show. We're going to do this every Thursday. We're going to rotate it on channels. So this week was mine. Next week will either be Team Holder, TST's channel, and then
we'll start one up for John.
Yeah, we start up the John channel.
Start this thing at 0.
Twitter Spaces.
This episode of Shot
HJs.
But yeah, so this is going to be a weekly show. This is the first one where it's all 4 of us, and we're going to keep doing this weekly. So stay tuned to that. Make sure you're subscribed to all of our channels so you don't miss a show. This is where the most important alpha for Top Shot All Day and Strike will exist. And if you don't want to fall behind and become a fish, you got to make sure you come and swim in the shot tank. So,
oh, I like that.
Wait a second.
Nice, dude. Nice.
We started saying, "Don't worry, we don't have much production. It'll get better. We're setting the bar low," and they exit on that point.
Well, yeah, it's been 2 hours. We've got to raise the bar now, right?
All right, and that's a wrap.
Okay.
Is there a video? You got like an outro?
We got nothing.
man.
No,
This is the outro.
This is
the outro. And we're actually probably going to just cut this and use it as the outro from now on.
Outro,
all right.
outro.
Because Jeb can't find that end live button.
Yeah, baller!